Thank you, Alexis, and welcome everybody. Thank you for spending a few minutes with us today to learn about some career services that we offer on campus. My name is Kelly Jensen, and I am coming to you live from the Career Center. And like Alexis said, feel free, if you have questions, I'm fine. If you want to unmute yourself at any point and ask, or if you want to put it in the chat, we will keep an eye on that and address it as we go. I'm going to share a lot of information today, but it'll be kind of a quick overview. So I imagine some questions will come up, but I'm also going to be sharing resources where you can look further to find more information on career services. So with that, we will go ahead and get started. Alexis, if you want to take us to the next slide, please. All right, so these are some things we recommend to all college students, whether you're an incoming freshman or a transfer student. I really want to emphasize coming to the Career Center early, and we are here. You can make an in-person appointment if you like, or you can schedule a virtual meeting or a phone appointment. But every summer we have so many advising appointments with students and alumni who didn't go to the Career Center until just a few weeks until they started searching for a job. And it's really stressful. So we can help you throughout your whole college journey to make sure you get where you want to go after graduation. And believe it or not, we also recommend socializing. So joining student unions, or sorry, student organizations, for example, is a great way to do that. This is a way to form your future network, and you'll hear me talking a little bit about networking a little bit more as we go. But you never know where your friends will end up and if they can help you someday. And definitely get to know your professors, especially if you're planning to apply to graduate school at some point. You can do that by attending their office hours, whether they're virtual or in person. And finally, take some time for reflection every so often. What are things you're learning about and doing that you'd like to continue working on in the future? What are things you hope to never do again? This kind of self-reflection is very important to the career exploration process. And I might add, be flexible. You know what? It's okay to change your mind at any point in this journey. So know that it's not, this linear path that you're on. There could be forks in the road at any stage of the way. Next slide, please. All right, so this here is a picture of the Career Center building. And in the Career Center, we offer personalized advising appointments, events, employer networking sessions, leads on internship and job opportunities, and lots more. We offer appointments in person, as I mentioned, virtually and over the phone, depending on what each student's preference is. You can use Handshake as your first stop to access all of our resources. Also be sure to visit our website, which you can see is posted on the top of this slide. You'll find a wealth of information there and also learn more about all the resources that we have to offer. Does anybody have any questions so far? I know I'm kind of going quickly here, but again, this is just kind of a brief overview of services that we offer. All right, then we'll move on to the next slide. So the resume, again, another quick overview of the resume, even though there's a lot to talk about on this topic. You'll want to make sure and look at the Triton Career Guide, which I'll show you a little bit later in this presentation. The Career Center's website, as I mentioned, and Handshake event listings for more resources on resume writing, because there's a lot of information out there to help you craft and perfect your resume. Generally, think of the resume as a way of providing evidence to your potential hiring manager that you have the skills and experience necessary for the internship or job you're applying to. If you have no formal work experience, that's okay. Most people anticipate this when they're hiring college students, but you still likely have experience from extracurricular activities, coursework and research, or even volunteer work that you can highlight on your resume. And for individualized help with designing your resume, you can schedule an advising appointment or attend drop-in hours. We do have a template for the resume that you can find on the Career Center's website, which is a really helpful tool. You can just plug in your own information there and it tells you exactly what to put where. And then the Triton Career Guide gives you more information on really how to create detailed bullet points that are relevant to the job you're applying for. So we highlight the resume here because it kind of is, it's an important step in any of the career process. Even if you're not looking for a job right away, knowing how to build your resume and continuing to improve it as you go throughout your college years, so that way when you graduate, your resume is pretty much ready to go, and then you can just tailor some small things to whatever job you may be applying for. Any questions on that? All right, next slide, please. So internship and job searching on Handshake. When I get to the end of this presentation, I will also give you a link to a tutorial I put together on how to use Handshake, how to access the various resources in there, because there's so much that you can do within Handshake. So as you're getting ready to search for jobs and internships, you'll want to use Handshake as a first stop resource. Employers post positions there to recruit UCSD students specifically. Also, the more information you include on your Handshake profile, the better. It takes that information and uses it to make suggestions to you for events and jobs that might be of interest. In addition, we recommend uploading a copy of your resume. Again, another reason why you want to be working and have a current resume available is that employers can view it on Handshake as they're browsing to recruit students. Many students want to know when to apply for internships, and this is something you'll want to plan ahead for. I know specifically it's a question that comes up quite often for transfer students because you don't have as much time. So thinking about it ahead of time, doing some research, attending company events that gives more information on the timeline for internships, and also meeting with the career advisor to walk through that and ask any questions. Many companies start recruiting 6 months to a year in advance, while others may have ongoing opportunities. So you just never know. This is something you'll want to investigate depending on your area of interest. Any questions about that? Okay, well, you guys are a quiet group. Maybe you're saving your questions for the end, which is totally fine. Next slide, please. All right, now we'll talk networking. And you'll hear us talk a lot about networking throughout your time at UCSD because it is so critical when it comes to moving forward in your profession, getting to know people in the industry and making those connections. You can do that through an informational interview, which is basically a meeting where you can ask someone who's in a job you're interested in all about their job and industry, so you can figure out if it's really a job you want to go into, and if so, how to get there. Informational interviews were already important in the internship and job search process, but they become more important now more than ever that we're in a pandemic and no one's really gathering in groups anymore. They pretty much replaced networking events as a way to meet people in the field you want to go into. And people are more willing to connect because more people are spending time not being out and about in groups, right? I've talked to many students who have even created created internship opportunities just through networking. They've had the informational interview and clicked with that person, and the person realizes that there's some work the student could help with and creates a part-time summer role for them to get experience in this area. So you never know. You can find more information like how to reach out to potential contacts and example questions you can ask in the Triton Career Guide, which again, I'll talk about a little bit later. To start finding people for informational interviews, we have a strong alumni network and platform where you can get mentoring from alumni, and this platform is called Triton's Connect. It's free to set up an account, and the alumni on it have already signed up because they want to mentor students and young alumni. And searching alumni on UCSD's page on LinkedIn is also really helpful. You can do a lot of research there, just entering a keyword related to the kind of job you're interested in or potentially a company, and then reach out to the people who come from that search. I recommend people usually go to Triton's Connect first, just because you already have a natural connection in that you're both Tritons, right? And you'll see as you search people, a banner across certain people's profiles that say willing to help. And those are the people that you'll definitely want to reach out to. Any questions on networking or these platforms? All right, next slide, please. So here are a few more final resources I want to leave you with. Just a reminder that Handshake is your go-to for all career resources. So if you do nothing else, activate your Handshake account today. You can find all our events and appointment offerings there, along with internship and job postings and online resources like Big Interview. Big Interview is a really great tool if you're practicing to interview for an internship or a job. You can do a mock interview through them and read kind of about industry specific tips for preparing for the interview. Let's see. Finally, this yellow thing on here, this is our Triton Career Guide. And this is, again, you can download this on the Career Center's website, or you can find it in Handshake. And I recommend everybody download this and keep it handy because you're gonna need it for a number of different steps. There's really good tips on there about how you can just plan out your years and steps to take to be best prepared for when you're ready for your job search. There's the resume template on there and tips and suggestions on really how to create a strong resume that employers are going to be interested in reading. There's also a template for a cover letter and tips on how to write that. There is a comparison of resumes and CVs. So if you're planning on applying to grad school or careers in academia or research, you're going to want to know how to write a CV and how it's different from a resume. And then there's also tips on there for networking as well. So I can't recommend enough. Go check out the Triton Career Guide and even take a look at that before you make an appointment with a career coach, because we'll most likely recommend that you take a look at that as well. Any questions? All right, well, I kind of went through this a little faster than expected. Next slide, please. I think I was expecting a few more questions, but we have plenty of time that I can answer any questions that you may have, and I'm happy to do that. I'm going to pull up a link for you. I'll put it in the chat. It's a tutorial on how to use Handshake and the various resources within Handshake. Okay, what is a CV? A curriculum vitae. That is, it's similar to a resume in that it's a document where you use to apply for work, but it's much longer. Typically a resume for a current student or a recent graduate, it's going to be a page, where a CV may be several pages, and you list a lot more information on there. For example, all of your research projects may be on there. If you're published with anywhere through some of your classes, it's just going to be a lot more detailed. And again, you can, when you see that in the Triton Career Guide, it spells it out, what kind of things are going to go in that CV. But those, again, those are more specific to research, academia, and if you're applying for international jobs, they'll tend to want a CV rather than a resume. So great question. What other questions can I answer? More than anything, I want to encourage all of you to access the resources here in the Career Center, because we have a lot of staff who are really good at what they do. And, you know, even if you're not really sure what questions to ask, it's good to just meet us and figure out what, you know, sometimes you don't know what's out there until somebody shows you or you start talking through some things. So definitely recommend that. Will getting a job or internship impact the amount of financial aid you receive? I'm not a financial aid advisor, so I don't want to answer that question. I think that would be a question for the financial aid office. I don't want to give out any wrong information. So I apologize for not being real helpful with that. Can you please send a link to the resume outline, please? I don't have the link on me, but I can give you the Career Center's website, and you can go there and then you can find it. And you can also find the career guide. There you go. Along with lots of other really great information, I might add. So if you're thinking about grad school too, there's a section on our website for, you know, exploration of that. What kind of questions should you be asking yourself if you're thinking about grad school? Some people, I think, depending on their major, think, well, that's the only option they have to get a job in their field. They have to go to grad school. It's not necessarily going to be the case. So check that out as well. We also, the advisors in the Career Center have specialty areas that we work in. So for example, if your major is in engineering, we do have 2 career coaches that focus in that area, and you'll see that when you sign up for appointments on Handshake. My area is in social sciences. Any of us are happy to help you, but if you have specific questions about your industry or wanting to connect with employers within that industry, you can look for the career advisor that best fits your area of interest. We also have career advisors for PhD and for grad school prep, if those are things that you're wanting to find out more about. Do you have any advice on what to do before visiting a career advisor? Yes, I would say check out the website and take a look through the Triton Career Guide. That's going to be a really good foundation. And maybe we'll bring up some questions that you might want to ask after you read through that to talk further with a career coach about. What else? And again, please feel free to unmute yourselves. I kind of like it to be interactive, but I know we've shifted away from that in this virtual world, but happy to answer any other questions. All right, how about something fun then? What has been the highlight of your summer so far? I'll tell you, my highlight is I'm a huge Padres fan, and I got to be at the game where they brought up the pitcher from the minor leagues. It was his first game. He pitched, he didn't do very well, and then he got up to bat and he hit a grand slam. And it was pretty cool. So if any of you are into baseball, that was quite a moment, and I got to be there in person for it. But what else? I don't see anything popping up here. You guys must be doing something interesting this summer. Nada. I think everybody is sleeping. So if there's no further questions, comments, excited for Summer Bridge. Thank you, Valerie. I appreciate your comments. Alexis, did you have anything that you want to add or information to share out with?
Yeah, sure. I like to add, don't be scared to like put yourself out there and like sell yourself and go find help when you need it. I needed help making a resume. I'd never done it before, and I went and seeked it out, or sought it out earlier this year, and I got my first job like as an RA at a lab on campus. You really just kind of have to look for it. You have to, no one's going to tell you what to do. You kind of have to guide yourself and really put yourself out there. But yeah, that was a really proud moment for me. I got like my first like real job. And I still work there too on top of doing this. It's like the social cognitive and development lab. If you guys want to check out the Instagram, I just made it. But yeah, you just have to find it yourself, because no one told me to do that. No one was going to be like, oh, you need to make an appointment with this person at the career center to help you make the resume. I just kind of had to figure that out and see how it worked also too in this like online format. It was a different experience, I guess, to navigate, but I figured it out, and you guys too can do that, and you can also seek help if you need it to. You don't have to do everything on your own. But yeah, that's my advice.
That's great advice. Thank you for sharing your own personal story, and congratulations on your job. Yeah, I think Alexis does give some good points in that. Don't be afraid to seek out help. That's what we're here for. You can make as many appointments in the Career Center as you'd like. And we have really come to perfect the virtual appointment where we can, share screens and go over resumes and show you where to find resources. And so it's really easy. I got one more question. What kinds of jobs are available on campus? There are all kinds of jobs available on campus. There are retail businesses here. There are health positions. They are all listed in Handshake. Every on-campus job comes through our student employment office. They are all posted on Handshake. And so when you go on there, you can filter for jobs on campus if you're specifically looking for something like that. All right, any last questions? Going once, going twice. Oh, there's one. Do you know if students can still apply for jobs even with a fluoride? Full ride. Okay, thank you. Yes, you can still apply for jobs if you have a scholarship. If it's a work study, that's a little different. And again, I'll defer to financial aid on that. But yeah, you can still apply for jobs. All right, well, thank you everybody for being here today. I will pop my email address into the chat in case anybody has any questions and they want to reach out directly. There it is. Again, my name is Kelly, and I hope to see you in the Career Center sometime soon or online. All right. Thank you all. Have a great rest of your day and best of luck with everything.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much, Kelly.